Hello, this is the beginning of what will hopefully be an uploadable vlog to the about the BristolCon thing. Apologies for my being so damp and dishevelled. Getting to the hotel was a time. What can you expect when you leave your luggage at a bus stop and then have to stop the bus and run back for it and then have to walk all the way up a very long hill? So yeah, that's been a time. That's been definitely a thing. I sincerely hope that when things have come round, this is going to be about as rambling as my podcast, isn't it? Oh well, one can only hope that going forward I will be able to create something that is somewhat less completely, totally amateurish. Hey, I've got my BristolCon bracelet on. So, um, this is the first day. There probably won't be anything to film until at least Friday evening. So, hopefully, all can be rosy. Yeah. I may not use this clip, but something I've had to deal with over the past couple of weeks is the anxiety of having a book out and needing to detach myself from what's happening to it. And also reevaluations happening in my mental space, in my life. Really facing the anxiety that I feel about things. And also, COVID made things worse, and I'm still getting over that. So I'm getting mood stuff going on. Something that happens in COVID, mood. So, I'm really hoping this will be a good time. It probably will be. But, yeah, anxiety is a real thing, and it's been hell. It is the Friday afternoon, and I'm beginning to get the anxiety and butterfly feeling, which is not good. But thankfully there are recourses to take, and one of them I've got in my hotel room is Bernadette Banner. Isn't that wonderful? Or rather, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? I don't know. Whichever way round this goes. This is going to be interesting in editing if I ever put this thing together. Okay, quick extra thing here. I'm planning a BristolCon haul when I get back from tomorrow's event, and I don't want this book to be there, but this is my first little bit of something. It's from a place called Heron Books. It's in the Clifton Arcade. It's a small independent bookshop, and behold, everyone, it is a new printing of Virginia Woolf's Orlando in a font I can actually read, because I'm not sure, you probably don't know, in fact, I almost certainly don't know this. I have a form of dyslexia, which means that I cannot read certain fonts. So they are just completely opaque to me, and one of the fonts that I can't read is a lot of the older fashioned Times New Roman stuff. So this is now in a font that I can read, because I know we have a copy of Orlando at home somewhere, but it's in a font that I just cannot read. My eyes just get instant eye strain when I try. So this may have been a bit expensive for a reprint of an old book. It was $8.99, but I don't feel like it was a waste. I mean, it's a classic for so many different reasons, and Heron Books is an independent bookstop. I wouldn't have wanted to pay this much in a W.H. Smith's or Waterstones or any of the really big chains. I wanted to support a smaller bookshop. So they have a really good selection. It's all arranged alphabetically. There's a fiction shelf, there's a history shelf, there's a biography shelf, and there's some stuff outside that I was sort of tempted by a Mary Bird book. Mary Bird? Anyway, that Roman historian. I was seriously tempted, but this one just won me over. So, my first book purchase, not actually part of my BristolCon haul, but I just had to show you and sort of bring this bookshop to your attention. Also, something else, you may be puzzled about this set of books. BristolCon has started, after having to get rid of it due to COVID reasons, they've started having a book swap table. You know, you leave books so that you don't want anymore, that you haven't read, that you haven't been agreed with, and you maybe pick up something from the ones that are there that you're interested in. And don't worry, the books don't go to waste. The ones that aren't picked up by the end of the day go to charity, so local charity shops get to sell these on. Well, one of them is this. I really never got round to doing anything with this. I think it's because I'm not particularly interested in Arthurian stuff. Just the T.H. White, Mists of Avalon, this, I've never been able to actually even try to read them. Just sort of, Arthurian leaves me cold. This is from an earlier BristolCon, and again, I never really got round to reading it. A lot of the rest of the stuff is from the family. My mother wanted to know what to do with something like this, and I said, "Oh, BristolCon's having its book swap going again," and it was a case of she was like, "Yes, that's a perfect place to get rid of some of this stuff. Well, not get rid. I mean, that's a cruel way of putting it, but have it go to a better home, like Abercrombie's Damia." That's another one I never really got into. Oh dear, there are so many books here. I mean, I tried reading Elizabeth Bear, kind of bounced off. There are so many books that you think you're told are good, or you think are going to be good, and then they turn out, I don't know, a bit meh for your taste. I mean, I've only briefly tried William Gibson. I really need to get round to actually going through Neuromancer. I've heard it's quite good. I might actually hate it, but hey ho. And then these Multiple Things by James P. Hogan. My sister liked his non-impassioned prose, but my mother found these really dry, and, well, rather, my mother didn't like them, and I found them really dry. So, hopefully when I bring these over tomorrow, because I can't bring them on the Friday, because they can't guarantee that somebody won't steal them, but when I bring these over to the convention tomorrow, they will find a very good home to go to. Oh, what it is to have so many books. But this is better than potentially them going into the charity shop and then maybe potentially not being sold and going to whatever fate awaits them, landfill, recycling, whatever. These get them into the hands of readers who may well actually want them, which is always a plus. Note to self, really need to bring a camera next time. Phoning this on a phone is making all kinds of problems.
Look what they've done, they changed the first to last. Once you hear this, you understand why.
Friends and allies, one of the things that reviewers of this book have commented on is that Dan is no longer a loner. He's very much part of a team. Was that something that you planned, or did it just happen?
It's evolved through the telling of the stories. Yes, I mean, he started out as your square-jawed hero in the loner mould, and that was a sort of a conscious choice because when your mother is a dryad, you're going to have trouble fitting in, and it was apparent that that had been Dan's life to this point. But once he started, I didn't want him to be Superman. I didn't want him to basically solve every problem and through square-jawed hero stuff. So he's going to face problems. He's going to need to find information. He's going to need to find other people to work with. And once you've got those relationships established, they become very interesting. And so I didn't want to just hit the reset button at the start of each book. I mean, he's not a supernatural Jack Reacher. He does not rock up into a strange place where nobody knows who he is and he knows nobody and the story comes from there. It's much more interesting if a character, as far as I'm concerned, if a character evolves and develops and grows over a series of books. That's what I like as a reader, is what I find interesting to do as a writer. So it has sort of naturally evolved.
Dan and his friends don't just keep people safe from supernatural menaces. They also have a definite moral compass. Indeed, there's a subplot or a couple of subplots in the book, which we can't talk about because we need to read it, where really they're taking on ordinary people who are doing bad things. It seems that this is something that's important to books.
Yes, because the vast majority of people I do find are decent, honourable, and trying to do the right thing in trying circumstances to varying degrees. By this point, I was starting to think, well, Dan's a decent bloke, and Dan can do a lot of interesting things, but Dan's a decent bloke. What if he wasn't? And that was one of the, I felt we'd reached a point with the characters established in this series so far, that it was time for a counterpoint. And that was one of the things that once I started thinking along those lines, things got very interesting very fast. Just as part of the world building, if you like, the grounding of the stories in reality. And since I can do that, I don't see why not. One of the issues for Finn and her sisters is at the moment it's bird flu. I'm still trying to work out what to do with that.
Yeah, just swan maidens get bird flu.
Well,
yeah, we might have an expert on chickens in the audience you could talk to. Oh dear. Fantasy working with folklore seems to be having a bit of a moment right now. Why do you think that is?
it's something I found out very, very interesting as a reader. If you're interested in these things, I can recommend Liz Williams' Fallow Sisters books, starting with Comet Weather, and also Kit Whitfield's All the Hollow of the Sky. All the Hollow of the Sky is the second one. The Heart of Stranger Things, I think, is the first one. Heart of Hidden Things, thank you. And I think it's because we are looking at the roots of fantasy fiction in a different way just at the moment. We're looking at its relationship with mythology and folklore. We've done the Tolkien template, and now people are realising that now that fantasy has done Tolkien and Tolkien clones, people are looking further back, looking for the origins of the genre because it has many, many roots, not just Tolkien now. The other thing, and I think one of the reasons that we're interested in how folklore mythology contributes to stories at the moment is modern myth making is going on all around us on social media as we speak. And I think people are getting more aware of that as well. So I think there are sort of two things playing off each other at the moment, and one of the ways in which it's being expressed is people exploring writing fantasy novels, drawing on folklore, ancient and modern.
Right, it's nearly 7:30. Time for me to be off to BristolCon proper. You know, it's really disheartening in a way when you get someone trying to advertise to you through the Facebook messaging service when you've been on their Facebook group, especially when it's late and you might not be as tactful as you would be. Yeah. So, hopefully the day will go better than it has done so far, and I will be able to just bumble along very nicely and enjoy my day. This is a little weird, doing this in public on the street, but it's quite the walk to BristolCon, and it's something to keep one occupied. The streets are so deserted at the moment. I doubt it'll be deserted for very long with the actual event, just because, well, BristolCon. So, I'm also going to be glad to be relieved of these books for the swap table because they are heavy. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, a sight unthought of. Julius Caesar doing a move from Menage. Oh well, maybe Menage exists in ancient Rome. We don't know. Seagulls don't seem to mind.
Let our little. Yeah, we have coins to eat and pins to put. It would think that would go down very well. No, no, you're very right about
Found a small, relatively private place to do this bit of it. BristolCon's been such a great time. I did helping on a panel about getting started in getting a story started and getting it going beyond the first couple of chapters. I was part of a small group session that's actually offered me a lot of encouragement as a new writer, and boy do I need encouragement as a new writer. This is steaming up. Next one I was actually participating, the one I participated in, which was a discussion about genre mashups, which is just, it's really nice to be talking about that, especially because and my leaflets are actually being distributed. That's amazing, truly incredible. I've got a few things for the planned haul section of this video. Oh boy, my wallet. Well, not as much, because there's one free book in here, and a free bag, and a free leaflet or two. The other one was actually on the language of world building, which I'd completely forgotten that I was going to be part of. Thank goodness I managed to get there in time, and it was really fun. The assignment we had was creating, me and two other women who was there, had a assignment of creating something around an underground civilization. That's someone... Okay. Yeah, this vlog is not going to be the most professional, but that's the style I think I'm aiming for. He says to the vlog that's going to go up to who knows how many people, a few dozen people. But yeah, I'm just on a break now. I've been exploring the shops and things. I'm really pleased that I was able to do this. Really pleased I was able to actually get this whole thing done. I'm seriously looking forward to the rest of the day. It is going to be a very long day. You know how it goes? It's really just that kind of thing that you realise you're doing. And now I'm running out of words. Insertion in the same kind of frame. This is the evening. The following clip is... I look rather bug-eyed. That should not be taken as my standard normal way of looking at people. I'm just extremely excited and rather hyper. Very quick. The moderation panel went immeasurably well compared to what I was expecting. I didn't mention my book more than once at the beginning. Yay! This is incredible. Oh, and I got some stuff. I've actually got a bit of a haul to tell you about when I get back. So I've got an SGS panel to moderate in a couple of seconds, so see ya! Hello! Sorry I couldn't capture more footage, just stuff was happening, so much stuff was happening. I'm really, really glad I was able to get as much as I did in between all the other stuff I was doing. As I said, I did 2 panels. I was on 2 panels at the convention, for the first time, and first panel I participated in, apparently I did all right. I mean, I mentioned my book one too many times, I think, as I said, and I moderated the next one. And that went much better than I expected. So much better, in fact. The main thing that I didn't do was at the end there's a karaoke, and my voice is just... I don't know whether you can hear it. My voice is feeling really rough at the moment. But I enjoyed lots of company, lots of good talk. I am really feeling reassured, not only in my quest to be a writer, but my realistic expectations to be a writer, and my feeling of I don't have to stop being a writer if I choose another career. I will find the time, which is something that I absolutely did not think would happen. Ever. You know, just one of those things. Also, pamphlets. I managed to get pamphlets out, which is something. And of course, here is the haul. I promised you a haul, and you are getting a haul. The first two I actually got on the Friday evening. This is a well, it's a 3D printed model of the BristolCon's mascot spaceship, I suppose. I mean, I didn't actually open this until I got back just now, and apparently, can I get it into focus? Yes. We'll try to get it into focus. It won't focus on it, but the main thing is, if this had been coloured and I'd opened it then, I could have got a special extra something, but it's not. It's just white, so it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, so I probably shouldn't have tossed it like that. Silly me. I am down a pint of cider. It was a good time in the bar. Second is this. The Green Man's Quarry. The latest in the Green Man series by Juliet E. McKenna. And this is from last night's, and look, her signature. This may be worth a fortune someday. Okay, probably not. But it's special. It's definitely a special thing. But next are the books that I got at the con itself, and I was a little bit wary of spending money, but it turns out I only had to pay for one of these, and it was this. A Sword of Bronze and Ashes by Anna Smith Spark. This is a standalone entry into one of her into her current universe, which is grim dark. Probably emphasis on the both words in that sentence, and yeah, it's quite reasonable. The others, this one was being given away for free to different members, and this yes, Handheld Press. They've been fairly good. I mean, I picked up quite a few of their books, and the first one I picked up, which was a few years ago, was a reprinting of Sylvia Townsend Warner's The Kingdoms of Melfin, and this is, well, it's another part of their collection of weird fiction, in quotes. So we'll see how that goes. The others I got from the swap table. Most of my books I think went to a very good home. This is the first one I picked up. Catherine Keir's A Time of War. I hope I'll enjoy it. Maybe I won't. I've no idea. Well, there's the blurb. Well, we'll see. The other two, this one is Our Child of Two Worlds, obviously, by Stephen Cox, who I shared both my panels with, and he was actually a bit of a nice stabilizing influence on, things and stuff. And this is the sequel. I meant to grab the first one, but by the time I got to it, the first one had already been taken, so hey ho, that's okay. And this is the wild card. Mary Lou's The Midnight Star. Apparently one of a series. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So yeah, I could have just dived in at completely the wrong point. I've no idea. So I'll have to see how that goes. But this is my BristolCon haul. Didn't cost quite as much as I thought, but let's be honest, I also did spend a bit on Orlando from yesterday. Well, for me yesterday. You'll be seeing this whole video cut together into something vaguely like a vlog, so for you it could just be a couple of minutes ago. I did want to get some jewellery to match this, this nice sort of homemade leather bracelet that was on sale at the last con. Unfortunately, the person who sold the leather work wasn't there this year, and the woman who sold jewellery there, all of it contained nickel, which I am allergic to, which is very unfortunate. She found it unfortunate, but I was able to give her some good feedback because she was trying to create a line of jewellery that, was okay for people in general. And I was able to give her some useful feedback of, well, yeah, people... Actually, no, it's not nickel, it's zinc. It's zinc I'm allergic to. My sister's allergic to nickel. I'm allergic to zinc. But it's a case of, yeah, she wanted to do nickel, low nickel or zero nickel jewellery, and I've just shown that, zinc she has to be careful of too. Sorry if this is even more rambling than usual, but it's been a very long day. I've been interacting with people for a good 11 hours. That's a lot. Interacting with people, talking to them, listening to them, quite apart from 2 of those hours being spent on panels, and a couple more of those hours being spent as a helper. And I only had 1 hour. I actually had a small group session that I completely forgot about, and I went to it, and yeah. Oh dear, this is I think if there's going to be any code over this, I'm going to film it tomorrow. This, I think, will be the end of my vlog. It's the Sunday morning. I'm feeling rotten. More to do with the bits of COVID that's still probably running around my system than anything else. I've got up here's hurting, and I've got bugged up everything, and my mood's doing weird things. But the essential thing is, I realise it's not me. I'm not having second thoughts, at least not rational second thoughts about things that I've been thinking about. And yesterday was still an incredible day. I saw messages about the karaoke, and it sounds like it was fun, but maybe not something I would have enjoyed in my current state. If my hotel had been closer, then maybe, yes, I would have liked it, but not when I was all the way up in Clifton. So I'm sort of ending it here, and if this vlog has intrigued you about BristolCon, it's happening again next year. Yeah, it's just, you don't even have to be there to do anything in particular. It's just a nice time. And there are so many people there. You will find common interests, a lot of them. Quite a few people who I now consider sort of distant friends, acquaintances, colleagues, I first met there. It's a place you can find soulmates, almost. Just finding the button on this to stop at an appropriate point. So, to those who've decided to watch to the end of this video, thank you. And see you again sometime in the future.